Hello and welcome everyone. Happy to be here. We joined with Pierre, Aurelien, and Hana. We are excited to do an amazing community call. I'm so excited because we're going to start doing these monthly, and the biggest change, we want to have more of the team involved. So I'm very happy to be joined by everybody here, and say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're from, how you all been. And today we're going to talk about the Q3 overview, do a product demo, talk about what's next, show some cool showcases from the community, and then we're going to do some Q&As. So without wasting any time, let's jump into it. So I want to introduce Hana. She's our new content and community lead. We're so happy to have her here. So Hana, can you introduce yourself and talk about all the awesome changes that are coming to Strapi?
Yes. Thank you both for the introduction, and hi everybody. So my name is Hana. I joined Strapi a month ago as a content and community lead. And to tell you very quickly about myself before I present our new program, so I have a background in engineering, and I love to help people learn and grow and connect. And so little by little, my career drifted from engineer to engineer empowerer, basically. And so in my previous job, I was a content manager, writing technical content, and I used Strapi, and I loved it, and so I joined them, basically. And so here at Strapi, you will see me behind our newsletter, our social media platform, our blog, and basically my goal is to open those platforms to even more to our community members. So one thing I will handle here at Strapi is a Write for the Community program with the help of Paul. So we currently have a Write for the Community program, and we decided to revamp it to onboard more and more our community members on it, with the goal of creating a platform where developers can share their expertise. So now the program focuses on 5 main categories. So tutorials to have guides on various tasks and various tasks, best practice to cover up topics like data modeling, security, performance optimization, and so on. So everybody can share a bit their knowledge here. Use case and case study. So to know how you use Strapi, and how you use it to solve your specific challenges, and how you build unique application. API integration, so how you integrated Strapi with other technology, other framework, and other services, and plugin development, so you can know all about the plugin you've developed it. So if you have experience you want to share with our audience, everything is available on our webpage. I will send you an email right after with all the detail. So basically it's just a form that you can see on the right. And we ask you to fill a few fields to tell us a bit about what you want to talk about. And if the topic sounds interesting for the community, we'll go ahead and support you during the writing process, and we'll publish you on all our platforms. So I also want to add, because it's something I saw a lot, that if you have something very interesting to say, but copywriting isn't your forte, so you don't dare to apply because you don't know how to write and you don't feel like you're a writer, you're a developer, please reach out anyway. That's why I'm here for. Will help you to write awesome contents and make you proud of your contents. So that was Write for the Community program. It starts today. We published a blog post today about it, and we shipped a new page about it so you can have all the updated information. And to tell you maybe a bit more on what's to come in 2024, so in 3 months, because time flies very quickly, we will be looking into expanding that program to also support those who like to organize meetups, to speak at meetups, to do so. So I'm here for the community. If you have any suggestion, feedback, question, I'm available on Discord. I'm available here. You can ping me on Twitter, anywhere. Feel free to reach out, really. And since a few weeks ago, I'm also in your inbox twice a month for a newsletter. So feel free to respond and say hi. I read everything. And that's it for me. Thank you so much.
All right, awesome. And now we're going to move on. I want to make a quick announcement. We're going to do these monthly community team calls. The big plan is to get everybody involved from the team, so you get to see not just my face, but all our awesome folks that are working here on Strapi, sharing all the cool things that we're doing. We're also going to start doing some Strapi partner streams to showcase how Strapi is being used in the wild, and to give you some cool ideas of what you could actually do with Strapi, because it's so amazing and so many different use cases that you can see. And finally, if you're not on Discord, Monday through Friday, 12:30 p.m. CST time, we have our open office hours, which is a lot of fun. really, really great. So if you're not in the open office hours, stop by, say hello, ask us questions. But with that being said, I'm going to bring on Pierre, have him talk about Q3 overview. So I'll stop sharing my screen so he could share his slides and we'll go from there. So Pierre, you may join the stage.
All right, thank you so much, Paul, for the introduction. And Hana, we are delighted to have you in the team. Hi, everyone. I'm delighted to be with you all today. We are going to make a quick overview of Q3 because it has been an intense quarter and we've released a bunch of improvements in Strapi. But before we dig in, I have one question for you. When was Strapi born? You might have heard the answer on the LinkedIn, on our Twitter. Yes, Remco, that's a very good answer. We released Strapi on GitHub in October 2015. And at the time, we were students. And before I dig into the story, I really want us to celebrate the 8th anniversary of Strapi. It's an important moment for the project. Please go ahead and celebrate this in the chat. So at the time, we were students. We were 3 co-founders, Aurelien, Jim, and I. And we were students working as freelance developers to make some money. But we are so frustrated by traditional CMSs just because when we wanted to manage content on a mobile application, traditional CMSs were not a good fit. It was not possible to pull the content in a universal format. Traditional CMSs were designed to render HTML pages. And even if it was possible to add an API layer with some plugins, it was not customizable, it was slow. And when we wanted to build websites with modern front-end frameworks, such as Angular 1 at the time. I don't know if some of you remember these days. And then React and Vue.js, all of these cool front-end frameworks were designed to be connected to an API, pull the content, and display it their own way. So we are so frustrated by traditional CMSs that we've decided to build our own. We were front-end developers doing JavaScript all day long, so we wanted a CMS that was 100% based on node.js, which was becoming very popular at the time. That was much faster than PHP, of course, and it was a really good way to use the same programming language everywhere. So that's how we got started with Strapi, and we published the project on GitHub, and it was a no-brainer for us that any headless CMS should be open source because every project is different and we need customization capabilities, and we all know that as developers especially. And today, the project evolved so much. The project reached 55,000 GitHub, which makes Strapi part of the 300 most starred project on GitHub, which is quite unbelievable. Your 900 contributors to the open source project will be soon at 1,000. So it's a significant milestone, and the project reached more than 10 million downloads. So thank you everyone for all of your contributions. It has been a long journey, and it's only the beginning. As you will see, as you will hear in this presentation, we have a bunch of exciting things for the upcoming quarters and years. So we'll share a bit more about that. But before we share more, I really want to say that Strapi is not only the most popular open source headless CMS, but it's used in productions by some of the biggest companies in the world. You can see some logos here on this slide. It's amazing to see the level of adoption that the CMS really got over the years for more and more production projects. The main web properties of some of these companies. So it's impressive to see such a large adoption. And it's also thanks to all of you for all of your contributions in terms of code, in terms of tutorial, thanks to the Write for the Community program, and also just by all of the promotion that you do with your friends and teammates. To celebrate this, we will make some giveaways. We have one hoodie, one t-shirt, and one cup that some of you will win during this call. So stay tuned. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. The strategy at Strapi for this year is very much about cloud and content. We have one mission, which is to empower millions and millions of people to share and manage any content anywhere. What does this mean concretely? We want to empower developers and marketers to build their most ambitious projects. And you are the developers, you are the marketers, you are the ones who want to build these ambitious projects. And we are here to empower you. And we are doing this together as a community. And the two main pains that we identified at the end of 2022 were, one, hosting Strapi is a big responsibility. You need to set up a server, you need to manage the uptime, the scalability, the security, and all that stuff. It's a lot of complexity, and as developers, especially as marketers, we just want to focus on what really matters for our companies, for our projects. And so lots of you asked for having a solution to easily host Strapi projects. And I'm glad that we released Strapi Cloud in March this year. It has been an amazing success, and we know how much we can keep improving it. So it's great that it really makes using Strapi easier than before. And so this is mostly for the developers, of course. On the other side, you can see that the second pane is more about the editing and collaborating experience. Headless CMSs are great, but they've also split the CMS on one side and the front end on the other side. And so we are actively working on the content experience. As you will see in this presentation, we released a bunch of new items earlier this year, and we have more for the upcoming quarters. So we have a lot of exciting stuff to share with you today, and this is more for the content managers, of course. So let's take a look at Q3. So in Q3, we released the bulk publish feature. So you can now select multiple entries in the list view, and you can edit. So typically, you can publish this entries, you can unpublish this entry, and this is very helpful. Instead of clicking on the edit view, publish the entry, and go back to another entry, and so on and so on. So the goal is just to save you a lot of time and a lot of clicks, basically. We also released review workflows, and we kept improving it in Q3. As you can see on this slide, the review workflows is now linked to the role-based access control feature, meaning that you can assign some steps of the review workflows, some specific roles, which is quite powerful when you're a team of tens of people managing content at scale, and you want to make sure that content is reviewed before it's published. Typescript. As developers, you all wanted to have full TypeScript capabilities, and we've made even more improvements over Q3. You will have a demo of the recent improvements, and that's very exciting. Data transfer improvements, that's one of the features that we released earlier this year. And this feature is essential basically to migrate content from one environment to another. So going from development to staging, and then from staging to production, and then putting the content from production to development to make sure that you work with the latest content. This is a game changer. And we've kept working on this feature, going through all of the details, all of the different requirements, which are very different from one project to another. The next one is a rich text editor. You probably know the current Markdown editor, which is available in Strapi. It's great. Markdown is absolutely amazing, but it's sometimes a bit too technical for marketers, for content editors. So it's a feedback that you've shared a lot on feedback.strapi.io, which is the URL we use to collect a lot of feedback. And so we've worked on a new rich text editor, and this rich text editor offers new capabilities, a much better editing experience, and you will have a demo of this new editor in a few minutes. V5. So V5 is a work in progress, and this is the new major feature. This is a new major version we will release end of Q1. Aurelien will share more information about this one. I can tell you there is a lot of exciting stuff in there. Now let's talk about cloud. Significant improvements is the ability to deploy Strapi projects, not only in the US, but also in the Europe region. And the next one is shared project. This one was essential to be able to collaborate on Strapi Cloud. From now on, you can invite teammates, and so they can access the project on Strapi Cloud, so you can collaborate, you can get access to billing and these kind of things. And this is, of course, essential, especially for digital agencies, if they want to share access with their end clients. So we've heard you, and we drastically improved this. All right, so before we start the demos, I'd like to do some community highlights and show a lot of gratitude for all of you in the community, especially for the assistance with the helper plugin migration, but also for the security vulnerability reports that we've actively worked on in Q3. Thank you also for the feedback on the V5 RFCs. You can take a look at on our GitHub repository to share more feedback, and please spend some time on that. The more feedback you share, the better V5 will be. And there are a bunch of new plugins on Strapi Market, such as Apollo Sandbox, Autona No ID, CDN Prefix, Content Type Explorer, Arrow Icons Field, Location, Multi-Site Versal Deploy, Revalidate Button, Revalidator, Soft Delete, and Telegram Bot. So thank you, everyone, for all of these contributions. It reminds us how much Strapi is much more than a product, but it really is an entire ecosystem of plugins, which is only possible with the community we are building together. And speaking of communities, I like to give a big shout out to Buggy. Are you in the call? If yes, please add a comment. So thank you. Yeah, awesome. It's good to hear. So thank you so much for all of your contributions around security issues, your activity on Discord, but also Discourse, which is our forum. Thank you for the comments on the GitHub issues and pull requests as well. So thank you so much. It's amazing to see the time you spent on the project, all of your contributions. So thank you so much. That's truly amazing. And we want to thank you with a hoodie that you will receive soon. It's very much deserved, and it's the very least we can do for you. So thanks again. All right, so as a CEO of Strapi, I also would like to talk a little bit about the company behind the Strapi project. First of all, I'd like to mention that we increased the number of on Strapi Cloud by 83% in Q3. And what I mean by this is that it's great to have an open source project, but we also are the primary sponsor of the open source project. We have an entire team, as you can see on this picture, working every day on our favorite headless CMS. And it's important to make the project sustainable. And I just wanted to share that things are going in the right direction, especially since the release of Strapi Cloud. It's an amazing success. We receive a lot of feedback. So that's good news for the future of the project. It's green lights everywhere. We're going in the right direction. We launched the partner program. So I guess there are some digital agencies in this call. And so the goal of the partner program is to help you building Strapi projects with your clients. So if you're not part of this program, feel free to reach out to us on strapi.io/partners. And I also would like to say that now we are 80 Strapiers in the team, so that's quite a team. And and please welcome Hana, Danisha, Golzar, Gonzalo, Hana, Nicolas, Rosie, and Sarah, who all joined us in Q3. So thank you for being part of this team. And we're hiring, so you can take a look at strapi.io/careers. We love hiring people from the community. All right, and so we are not only 80 people in the team, but we have a very unique team in the sense that we work 100% remotely from 13 different countries, and we have 23 nationalities in the team. So we have a very international and remote team. All right, so that's it for me. I think we're going to talk about the goodies for a few minutes, and then we'll talk about the demos. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Pierre, so much. So many cool updates. And yes, you're absolutely right. We are going to do some cool giveaways, as you saw, the awesome Strapi merch. So we got this wheel. It has everybody's name here. So we're going to spin it, and we're going to see whose name comes up. If you win, let us know in the chat. So drum roll, please. Going for our first spin here. What is going to happen? It's probably going to be me. No, I took my name off the list. I'm just teasing. Anusha, you are our first winner. If you're on the call, let us know in the chat, and I'll make sure to contact you with your awesome merch. Nice, 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 and congrats. So we're going to do 2 more spins. Again, please claim your prize in the chat. So here we go. Second runner-up. We're spinning the wheel. Drum roll. I see people like, hey, if Anusha doesn't answer, prize goes to Marco. And we have Amish. Amish, if you're in the chat, let us know. Let us know. But you are our next winner. And what I'll do, I'll spin the wheel 1 more time for our 3rd winner. Let's see it. Spinning the wheel, spinning the wheel. And let's see here. Kevin, that was a close one, but Kevin, you are our 3rd winner. And so what I'm going to do, we're going to check the chat. Let us know if in the chat if to claim your prize. If not, we'll respin the wheel a little bit later, but I want to continue this call and to keep going. And we'll reach out to you. But for our product demo, I'm going to invite Yanis to the call first. He's our product manager. So Yanis, whenever you're ready, you could jump into the call.
Yes, I'm here. I think you can hear me.
Yes, you're here. Great to have you here. And today you're going to share the awesome rich text editor with us. So if you like, you could do your screen share. I'm going to stop mine.
Yes. And here you should see my screen.
Awesome. Looking good.
Cool. Yeah, thank you for having me in the call. Very happy to be here. So I'll show you the new rich text editor. Pierre mentioned it. Before we had only the Markdown editor. So let's say for marketers, content editors, it wasn't the best option to write content because they're not always very familiar with content with Markdown and with those little symbols that you have to use. The thing is also they had to switch between the preview mode and the Markdown mode to see how the content would look like, or they would have to expand the editor, the field, to like compare what they write with how it's going to look like. So that's how we decided to work on a new type of field. So we are introducing this week the beta of the blocks field. So here in this field, you'll be able to write your content and see how it's going to look like right away. So it's way more intuitive. It gives you feedback instantly. So we hope you're going to like it. You'll also be able to use the selector here to add some code or a quote or an image directly from the media library. So yeah, again, I hope you'll enjoy it. Something to know is that this field is a JSON-based field. So if you go to the content type builder and you decide to add a new field, you'll see the Markdown field here, and you'll see the blocks field, which is a JSON-based rich text editor. So yeah, that's how you're going to be able to add it. And in the future, what we want to do is to add a few other capabilities to the field. So in 2 weeks from now, we'll be releasing the stable, and then over the quarter, we'll add the ability to expand the field, also to move blocks. So I can move, let's say, this block down, or I can move the underlying block up. You'll be able to do that, and we'll also add the ability to use some shortcuts. So Control B, for instance, to write some bold text. So that's it for the new field. I hope that you will enjoy it. And if you have feedback, yeah, don't hesitate to reach out. We always happy to receive your feedback.
Thank you, Yanis, for that. Really, really awesome. So really, really excited. I love the options that we have here with Strapi. Now you could use Markdown if you like, or you have this amazing JSON editor coming your way, which is really excited in beta now. And so now I would like to invite Parity to share with us a little bit about review workflows. She's our senior product manager. Welcome and thank you for jumping on the call. And you may go ahead.
Thank you, Paul. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Hello, everyone. Very excited to be here. And in a minute, you should be able to see my screen. Do you see it all right?
Yes. Wonderful.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Go. So I'm Paridhi, and like I said, again, very happy to see the energy and to be here. Today, I'm talking to you about review workflows, which is a feature, a solution that we shipped the minimum viable feature early on this year. But ever since then, almost every month, the team has been putting in a lot of hard work and love to bring new improvements to it almost every month. So with review workflows, the main goal of this solution is to provide content teams with a way to review their content, to check their content, to improve it before they actually publish it. So think of it like a safety net to publish with more confidence using Strapi. And what you see right now on your screen is the configuration section of review workflows, where you can decide what kind of workflows you want. One important thing that we kept in mind while designing the solution is flexibility and customizability. So we do appreciate that no two organizations or no two teams within an organization have the same review needs. Your review needs could really vary. And that's why the flows are completely customizable. You can decide what should be the name of your flow, how you want to set it up, as well as what kind of stages you want within the workflow. It's all completely customizable. To add to that, you have the ability to duplicate stages, to reorder them, to delete them, etc. And one important part is each workflow can be mapped to a content type. And this is like in one place, you're able to do that, like I've done for these two content types. One of the latest improvements that we shipped to this was role-based access control, as Pierre mentioned earlier on in the call. The idea is to provide content team leads with granular level of control. So I can here decide that only somebody with the role content writer or author should be able to change this stage. What it means effectively is that if I am a content writer or author, only then I would be able to move the content entry from ready to review in progress or a to-do stage. So that's something that we recently worked on. Also to add, at a feature level, you have the create, read, update, delete permissions too for greater control. And now I'll move on to the part of how it plays out in the content management side and the collaboration side. So first of all, in the edit view, you're able to change stages based on the kind of review that you're conducting. And for each stage change, we also support webhooks in case you want to run automations on top of the state change. And you also have an assignee per entry, so you can decide who the content should be assigned to for each of the different stages. And one interesting thing that we've tried to do here is in the list view, you're able to see the review stage and the name of the assignee, and also filter content based on if I want to see what kind of content is assigned to me, I would be able to filter it out based on both the assignee as well as the review stage information. I'd also like to add that this feature is available in our enterprise offering because this is more relevant for teams, bigger size teams. And to answer one of the questions that was in chat from Remco, thank you for the question. Currently, we do not have comments associated with it, but that's part of our plan. We do see this feature spanning into a more collaboration-oriented feature and working well with notifications and comments. And you'll hear more about it soon, but currently we do not support it. And I think that's all from my side. Thank you for listening. And all feedback is welcome.
Thank you, Parity. Appreciate your time so much. So glad that you were able to jump on the call and share this with us. Thank you for being here. And now, lastly, to present here, we're going to talk about Typescript. Everybody loves Typescript. I know everybody's excited. So I want to present to you JS, one of our backend developers, to share some of the improvements that we've been making. And I got to admit, he's been converting me to TypeScript slowly. So I appreciate it. I'm sorry, Derek, if anybody knows. So let's have JS share his screen and show us some cool new things that we have.
Yep, thank you. Hello, everyone. Happy to be there. I hope you hear me well. I guess that's the case. Perfect. I will share my screen and I will talk a bit about the work that we've been doing on TypeScript over the last few months. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so just to put a bit of context, over the past few months, we've been focused on the Developer Experience Squad on multiple things, but one of the things was TypeScript and improving the overall TypeScript experience in Strapi. We've laid out a lot of bases and stuff, but today I will talk to you mainly about the entity service. The entity service is a service that allows you to query your data, and you probably use it a lot in your customization. To showcase this feature, I've just created a basic Strapi project in 4.14.3, the latest version as of today. I've also created a dummy content type with a lot of fields, relations, enums, and everything. And I've finally generated my type. They've been generated automatically as I've created my project and ran it. And we can see that I have access to my article, my category, and everything that I've created. Okay, so that was for the setup. And then I will show a bit of code. And as I've said, today I will only present the entity service. So for those that are not familiar with the entity service, it basically allows you to manipulate your data. So for instance, we can create data. So here I will say that I want to create an entity using the entity service. And now with my types being generated, we can now see that it's present. I get presented with the list of entities that I can create. So here I will choose to create an article, and then I will be able to pass an object, for instance, here, in which I can pass my own data for my article. Previously, here you only had a basic object in which you could pass everything and anything, basically. But here I get presented with the list of available fields in my content type, which is well, quite interesting. And for instance, I can see that one of the required fields in my content type is the priority. As we can see here, the priority is indeed required. So here I will be required to pass a value, and here I can see that I can select one of the available value for my priority, which should be very high, I guess. And I can pass also the property like this. So that's fine. I've created an entity just with the typings, and now I can try to, for instance, find entity. So I will do entity service.find many, for instance, many article. And here, for me, this is one of the main pain points that has been fixed. This is like understanding how you can make a query in Strapi. Because you can use filters, you can use populate object and populate queries, you can use a lot of different stuff. But thanks to the typing, you can just explore the filters just like that. You just say, okay, in the filters, I want to filter using, well, let's say the priority. I want to say that the priority should be low, for instance. And I can say that I want my title to contain a certain value, for instance, to contain Typescript. And here you go. I've just created a query for my article. And what's interesting is that you can also have this for the populate. For instance, I can see what I can populate in my content. I can populate the content, the categories, and everything. Let's populate the categories. It even works for the dynamic zones. Content is dynamic zone, and you can use populate fragments with the typings in order to populate your content. So I can say that in my dynamic zone, if I have a header component, I will select the fields title and description, and everything is presented to me with typings. And since I don't have a lot of time, I will probably not talk about the update and the delete, but I just want also to talk about what is returned from those queries. So for instance, found should be an array of article because I have find many. So I will say found for each article dot, I don't know. Oh, okay. ID, priority, publish at, title, and update at. That's nice. So we can see that we have access to everything here that we want. And yeah, I mean, there is so many things to showcase on top of this, but we don't have a lot of time, so I will stop here. We are planning on adding so much more to TypeScript typings. We are iterating on that, and we will continue to do that over the next quarters. If you find any bugs, anything, feel free to send some feedback, open some issues on GitHub. We are really trying to improve the DX overall using TypeScript. So yeah, any feedback is precious.
Thank you, JS, for that awesome demo. Thank you for jumping on the call. We really appreciate you. And so now we're going to talk about what's next with Aurelien. So Aurelien, if you'd like to share the slides so you could control.
Yeah, I will do. Let me do that. Can you see them?
1 second. Yep, they're starting now. Nice. Here we go.
Perfect.
Looking good.
Yeah, I miss those calls. Like the energy is so great. Thank you for all being here. I will try to make this quick about what's coming next in Strapi. And let's go straight into the roadmaps. So I split the roadmap into 2 products because the cloud and CMS are 2 different products for us. And next year and at the end of this year, we have a lot on our plates. So those are simplified view of the roadmaps. Of course, we are also like fixing issues. We are maintaining the product. We are also adding a few improvements, but I wanted to present something which was like pretty clear for all of us. So as Yanni showed, like the rich text editor is currently in beta, and we plan to release the stable at the end of October. So it's going to be a huge and a game changer for Strapi and especially for the marketing teams and the content editors. And then, as you can see, we're not gonna release a lot of things in November, December, because we are working very hard already on V5. So as you can see, V5, we plan to release it at the beginning of March. This is an estimated deadline, of course. We'll do our best to match and meet this deadline, but I don't want to make any overpromise here. The releases is something I'm going to show you at the very end of my section is a new feature. So I won't tell you too much about it now, but it's going to be pretty exciting, especially again for the content editors. As you know, V5 is a big topic, big initiative for us. So we want to take the opportunity to fix a lot of things, and we don't want to do and redo like the mistakes we did between V3 and V4. That's something we want to change. So we are going to release V5 with an upgrade tool, migration scripts, etc., an updated documentation. Everything will be ready. We won't release V5 without those tools because we don't want to leave again the V3 to V4 migration. And we know for you as a community, it was painful. We are going to fix some issues on internationalization. It's one of the most used plugins right now in the ecosystem, and we want to make sure V5 and internationalization works super well together. One of the big news is that the user and permission plugin, I think the second most used plugin in the ecosystem, will be migrated later. So it will work on V5, but we want to apply some changes and fix the most important and critical issues. This will be done later in April. And content history is another feature which is coming in May. So as you can see, the roadmap is pretty packed in terms of big initiatives and big feature, but don't worry, a lot of small improvements and issues will be fixed along the way. I didn't mention many other initiatives, but we're also exploring the SDK, the previews, the comments. I think someone asked a question about the comments, and also the conditional fields. So we are basically looking at all the feedback you're posting on Kali. We are reading all the threads. So please continue to post your use case, all the issues you have with Strapi. We're reading that all day long, so please continue. It really helps us to define the roadmap. Let's go to and switch to the cloud roadmap. We got a lot of feedback about when the payment was failed or the free trial period was ending, that sometimes the payment failure was creating the product being shut down. So we want to automatically reactivate now the subscriptions and the project when there's a payment failure. So that's something that's coming pretty soon at the end of October. We're actively working on it. We also want to revamp the sign-up page. We want to make the experience way easier with an onboarding process to go straight to production with Strapi Cloud. It is the process, but we can do even better. So we're actively working on this. GitLab is going to be added as a new provider. So we only support GitHub right now. It was made by choice on purpose, but now we will support GitLab. We're working actively on two big initiatives. One of them is the uptime SLAs. It has been requested by many of the users and customers of Strapi Cloud. It's coming soon. Maybe it might come even earlier than what you can see on the roadmap. And we're also in the process of being SOC 2 compliant. So we know security is something more than important for our customers and super important for us as well. So we are working actively to be SOC 2 compliant for early March. With this security theme, we also working on SSO and the environments. Most of the best practices recommend to work with multiple environments. We all know that. We also wanted to ship Strapi Cloud as soon as possible. So right now, when you're using Strapi Cloud, you only have a production environment. We will bring the environment in April. We started to work on this, but it's a pretty massive, again, initiative. So yeah, that's pretty much it about the roadmap. We are super excited. Please continue to share your feedback. The roadmap can be updated at any time, but this one is pretty much what's going to happen in the next 6 months. And I hope you appreciate the visibility on what's going to happen at the end of this year and the beginning of next year. V5, it's a big one. So this is in one slide how I can sum up V5. You will see in the next slide that we already have like public RFCs, but V5, if we try to make it simple, we need to break the database schema to implement and develop new features. One of them is draft and publish, so being able to write your content in parallel between your published and your draft version of an entry. We also wanted to fix the content API format. We know that's something where, as users, you were pretty disappointed about the new format we introduced. It's something we didn't have time to leverage, but we wanted to fix that as soon as possible. So V5 is going to simplify the content API format. I will talk a bit more about this later. The engineering team is introducing new APIs to customize the administration panel. It's going to be easier. It's going to be better if you migrate from one version to another. So it's going to be pretty cool. We want to also introduce a new relational field. The big directional relations that we have today are causing some issues when you start adding draft and publish, internationalization, or even content history on top of it. So we want to fix that by providing a new type of field called link. It's something it's going to be recommended to use for your content structure. But we will introduce that and talk about this more when we'll have more details. Of course, 100% of the code base will be migrated to Typescript. It's important for the engineering team. It's important for the developer experience. So it's going to be better once everything will be in TypeScript. And also we are going to use Vite to bundle all the front-end assets and files instead of Webpack. So we should aim for better performance and lower time to build the Strapi administration panel. So that's pretty much it for Strapi V5. All the RFCs are public, so please comment them as much as you can. It really helps us to improve what we have in mind. We are building Strapi for you, so please any comment is welcome. And we just can't wait to start debating those RFC. So some debates already started, and thanks for all the contributors in that call already started to post comment, but more comments will be welcome. Draft and publish, it's something I mentioned is coming with V5. So it's a new feature. It's going to be added as part of the product. So the goal is to allow you to parallelize the writing of your entry. Right now, you can't do that. The draft and publish is basically a status of your entry. It's in draft or in publish. Now you will have two entries at the same time. So that's why we're going to introduce the notion of the concept of document. We will make, and we built this design and the UI to make like the comparison between the draft and the published version super easy. So as you can see, there's a tab system, and the draft and publish will be compatible with internationalization, review workflows, but also the webhooks and the role-based access control feature. It's a pretty big chunk of work. So congrats to the team who already started to work on this. The API format is going to change. So on the left, it's the current V4 API format. And for the same data, this is how it's going to look like in V5. So this is actually what we're presenting in the RFC, but this format can change. So if you disagree with this, if you would like to see something else, please comment the RFCs. But as you can see, like the payload is going to be reduced. It's going to be easier to access your data. So no more attributes property. And that, yeah, pretty much about the API format. I hope you will like it. And this is something I mentioned at the very beginning of my part, is the releases. So it's actually a work in progress. So it's an exclusive screenshot. I think the team is not even aware about this. But I want to show you how what releases are going to look like. So releases, basically, they allows you to batch entries and to publish them at a specific date. So you can schedule when a batch of entries will be released. You can also decide if you want to publish or unpublish some entries when the releases is done. You can also, as you can see, monitor the progress of your releases. So as a marketing team, if you're planning your content like 3-4 months in advance, you can see if the release is ready to be published or not. So that's pretty cool. We designed this feature to be highly flexible. So it means we don't want to be too opinionated. Sometimes you will prefer to organize your release per local, or sometimes you want to organize it by entries. So it really depends on content type. So that's why you will have this group filtering system where you can filter and group your entries according to different properties. And yeah, that's pretty much it about releases. We're pretty excited about this one. And it's going to be released in early January, end of this year on V4. It will be also available on V5. So that's it. I hope you like it. I can't see the questions. So if there's any question, I will.
I think there's a couple of questions in the questions, but they're all different type of question. And maybe we could just jump in that questions chat and just answer them as we see them, just to be try to finish on time. And then if we have some more time, we'll do Q&A. Yeah, sure. For sure. But
thank you.
I know we had so many exciting things to share. We're really cutting it close. But Aurelien, thank you so much. Really excited for all those things coming up. And so now what we want to do is I want to highlight some community showcases, and I want to have this opportunity to talk about cool things built by community. So if you have something awesome that you're building and you would like to share with us, feel free to email me, reach out to me, but I want to make this time where we highlight someone from our community building cool things. And today I want to introduce Ray and Austin. They have created a Strapify. Amazing. If you like, they're going to tell you about it. Well, Ray is, but it's amazing. You know what? I'm not going to do a good job as Ray will. So I'm going to introduce Ray right away. Ray, welcome. Great to have you on stream. So take it away. You could share your screen, share all the awesome things you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul, for that kind introduction. Okay. Screen. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm super excited to share this with you guys. It's a tool that we built at our company. Solves a couple different interesting pain points, and we've been developing it for, I think it was about 8 months or so. We spent 4 months in development, and then we kind of tested it on real sites for about another 4. And finally, we've actually launched it to the public. So the tool is called Strapify. Essentially, it allows you to integrate Strapi with any HTML page using 0 JavaScript. So you just embed this script in your page, and you add some HTML attributes, and you're gonna get a fully CMS integrated website. And there's a couple other really cool features that I'm excited to show you. But I'll talk a little bit about who built it, what it does, and all that stuff. So who built it? Obviously myself, but Austin Goodman, who's the main developer. He's on the call as well today, but he's lost his voice. Austin developed about, I would say 95% of the code for him. So he's a JavaScript master, and yeah, this is his baby. So we built it at the company we work for called CiviConnect. We are essentially a youth training organization that focused on bridging the gap between education and employment. So we work in the web development stream. We bring a lot of new developers on, and we help them build projects. And we use Strapi for all of our projects. And last cohort, 2 cohorts ago, we finally actually shipped Strapify on some projects that you can check out here in your own time. So what is it? It does a lot of different things. You can see here on the right, there's all the different HTML attributes you can add. And so it's got dynamic content. Everything comes from Strapi, gets injected into the HTML. You can do sorting, filtering, pagination, just with some of these little attributes here. Images and videos, you can automatically render them just with this Strapi field. Rich text rendering automatically, which is one of my favorite features. Dynamic pages, so you can do a whole blog if you want. Authentication, there's a beta version that we're putting together. Well, it's working and stuff, and it's good. It's allows you to do simple like login, register, sign out stuff, and it'll show or hide collections depending on whether the user's logged in. And there's some other cool stuff, JavaScript hooks and CSS modifiers. So why do we build it? There's tons of tools out there that do like things similar to this, like React and all these JS frameworks. So for us specifically, a lot of our associates come in without any JavaScript experience. So we were building sites on Webflow, and we basically needed a way to integrate Strapi into these Webflow sites. Now, Webflow has a CMS, but it kind of locks you into their ecosystem, and you can't host it your own. So we didn't want to use the Webflow CMS. And so we needed a way to integrate Strapi into Webflow sites. And so the solutions we tried before we built Strapify was like exporting to React or exporting in the code from Webflow into Django or something like that. But the real problem is that that's just, it's very like tedious, time consuming. You have to like export in Webflow, and then you have to like kind of translate it into whatever framework you're using. And the CI/CD is just a mess. And so anyways, that's why we built it. Hopefully that provides some context. Now I want to make it clear that it's not intended to replace a front-end framework. It's a very lightweight tool. It's just a script you can add and do that. It's not going to do everything that a front-end framework does, but I think for the basics, it really does it super well. Some of the main use cases, just have a site that just needs a little bit of Strapi integration, or if you have if you're building sites on like Webflow or something like that, a WYSIWYG editor, and you want to avoid the lock-in. That was our use case. And also just for new developers who don't have a ton of JavaScript experience, but they want to build a CMS integrated website. So Strapify is in beta. Hopefully one day that it will not be. So last thing I want to do is just show you a quick example of Strapify in use. So this is our example. If you go to our website, you can click here and it'll take you to the demo here. But we've essentially got these are single types. You can see that there's just some attributes you've added here. And this is coming from Strapi, this text here. We can do, let me go through it with the slides, but you can check out the actual site on your own if you want to see how all the code works. Try to go through this pretty quickly. I know we're getting short on time here, but so again, single types, all you need to do is add that one attribute, and it's going to add that content. This might be my favorite feature, is the rich text. You literally just have a div, and you add Strapi single type or Strapi field, and it's automatically going to populate all the rich text into that div. So it's going to go inside it. You can add any styling to that rich text that you'd like. So super nice for that. Collections, you can do like, you just wrap a div in this thing with Strapi collection equals employees. This has to match the plural API ID. And then you basically tell whatever items in that container that you want to like have repeated for each item in your collection. You say like, that's my template, so it's going to repeat that. And then you can connect all the fields. So like title, all this stuff. And like, for example, here, it's just automatically going to say, it's automatically just going to add an image because it just reads from the API and just knows it's an image. So very flexible, very easy to use. Again, you can do filtering, sorting, pagination with literally just HTML attributes. There's the sorting, pagination, and dynamic pages. This one's a little bit more complicated, but you can read through these on your own. You can read through the code in the code sandbox if you want to see how it works exactly. But you can basically set up an entire blog with Strapify if you wanted to. And then another super cool feature is the authentication. So you just, again, it's in alpha, so probably wouldn't recommend it on production sites, but it does work for basic uses like this here. But yeah, you can see it's just some attributes you've added to the login form. A couple of special ones here. And yeah, so that's Strapify. Thank you so much for having me on, and thanks everybody for listening. Happy to answer questions if you have any.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Thank you. I did have a quick question. How's this integrate with Webflow? Because some people who use Webflow to create websites always wonder how they could add content to it.
Yeah, so the workflow we used to connect to Webflow sites was basically spin up your Strapi instance. You paste the script into like every single page on Webflow. And then you just have to pass in the Strapi API URL. So if it's on localhost, that's fine. But that goes into the script. And then essentially you build out your page in Webflow. After it's built out, there's just kind of, you'd go into the custom attributes tab in Webflow, and you would just add like Strapi single type equals this, or Strapi collection. And you just kind of build it after you've built the static version. Does that kind of answer the question?
Yeah, it sounds like straightforward. I just love how easy you make it, give people ability to add the data from Strapi. Really, really awesome. Thanks for coming on and sharing, and keep us posted all the new different updates you're making.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Paul.
All right, thanks. We'll see you later. Take care. All right, and I know we're really short on time, and we might not have as much time as we wanted to for Q&A, so I apologize for that. One thing that I'm going to mention is that we do have open office hours Monday through Friday, 12:30 p.m. CST time. Always welcome to join us. Derek and I and a lot of our community members are there, and for some of the questions we had, I had Derek help out and answer them. And the questions that we didn't get to today, we'll try to answer them asynchronously. And last thing we're going to do just before we jump off is that we did have a couple more things that we want to give away. So we had a couple of people that did not claim their prize yet. So you know what, for funsies, let's spin the wheel 2 more times and then see who's going to win some merch. So before we go, let's do it. I'm going to spin it. Why not? Make it exciting. And let's see who's the winner. Sharari, if you're in the chat, let us know. And by the way, if we miss you in chat, I will reach out to everybody via email, and we're going to spin one more time for Strapi merch here. Let's see who's going to be the champion today. Everybody's a champion. Everybody's a winner. And last one for today. And Austin, you win a some merch. Fantastic. And I know you're in the stream, so really, really fantastic. So make sure to hit actually both you up. Anyway, so that's all for today. I just want to say really thank you to everybody that was here, the Strapi team, Pierre, Aurelien, Hana, Yanis, Parody, JS, everybody who jumped on the call, everybody here in chat. You are all amazing. The reason why Strapi exists is because of you, awesome members of the community. And with that being said, I just want to thank you all for stopping by. We're going to do this every month. And as soon as we're done with this community call, which is today, I'm going to start thinking about the next one. So we get all the invites early enough, get everybody aware. But my goodness, we had over 100 people on the call. What an amazing time. So thank you so much. And we'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day or evening, wherever you are, and we'll see you all later. Thanks, everyone, and thanks, team, and thanks to you, the community.